welcome Charlotte Jones.
Good afternoon, Council President to the City Council. I'm sure I've only met a couple of you. I've met the President and I believe just a couple of members, so I'm relatively new. So
Yes.
thank you for this opportunity.
Uh, just one second. I do see one of my colleagues has their hand up. I want to make sure we hear from them before we move on.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President Bass. This is just a question around the materials for today's meeting. When we are doing our budget process, we are given the actual packet, the actual budget, a paper copy. And when I was looking through these documents, I typically print them out, and there's just so many pages. I wondered if we could get all of these documents that are updated for 2023 accessible in the same way that our budgets are.
Yes, I'll talk with the team about printing up some that are bound.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
That's okay. If we could go on to the first slide. So I am Charlotte Jones. I am the Interim Executive Director of CPRA as of mid-November. Next slide. I'm just giving a general information that I'm sure you're aware of regarding police oversight, in that the 2016 Measure LO created the Oakland Police Commission and the Community Police Review Agency, which was formerly known as the CPRB. In 2020, Measure S1 expanded that, the independence and authority and staffing of the Police Commission and CPRA. The Police Commission, among other duties, oversees the policies and procedures of the Oakland Police Department, and CPRA is the civilian investigative arm of the Police Commission, with the primary role of investigating complaints of misconduct arising out of community interactions with OPD officers. Our mission statement is to contribute to effective police oversight and increase police accountability to the community through impartial, thorough, and timely investigations of complaints against sworn employees of OPD to reach objective findings and fair discipline recommendations. The structure of oversight is that the Police Commission is over the Inspector General, as well as CPRA and the Chief of Police, which leads down to the Internal Affairs Division of OPD. CPRA structure specifically is led by an executive director who is over a chief of staff, in-house counsel, 2 supervising investigators, and an administrative analyst. And I don't have on here where the vacancies are, but we do have quite a few vacancies. We're actually supposed to have, and there should be 7 boxes for complaint investigators, as the charter allows 1 investigator per 100 OPD officers. So we currently have 6 investigators. 2 of them just started within the last 2 months, and we still have a vacancy for an investigator. We currently have no supervising investigators. I was hired in as the chief of staff. So as the interim executive director, I'm the only management at CPRA at this time, taking on the role of all of the management roles. We also have the in-house counsel position that's vacant. We do have an administrative analyst too, and we are fully staffed on the intake technician positions. There's a position here that we also would like to have, which is a community engagement, media relations position that's not on the structure that we hope to have soon. Just to give general information about what CPRA does as it investigates complaints, I wanted to just go through the process in general, from filing complaints, which anyone can do, how they can be made. They can be made with an OPD supervisor in the field, with internal affairs. If they are made with internal affairs, they have to forward them to CPRA within 24 hours. They can be made with CPRA online, in person, via phone, letter, or email. They can be anonymous. They can be third-party complaints on behalf of someone else. They can include multiple allegations and/or multiple officers. CPRA is mandated to receive all complaints, but we're only required to investigate certain complaints. The complaints that CPRA is required to mandate to investigate involve use of force, in custody deaths, profiling or discrimination based on protected characteristics identified by federal, state, or local government, allegations of untruthfulness, and First Amendment assembly violations. Just a general overview of the investigative process. Complaints come in any of the matters that I discussed before. They go through our intake process where we determine if it's a mandated or non-mandated category. If it is a non-mandated category, it is closed at the intake step. If it is a mandated category, it is assigned for investigations. The CPRA investigations are separate and independent from the Oakland Police Department investigations. Our investigations consist of gathering evidence, documents, body-worn camera, video, statements, interviews, conducting a review and assessment, an analysis of that evidence in relation to law and policy, and developing results in the form of a report that contain findings which can be sustained, exonerated, unfounded, or not sustained. If there is a sustained finding, there is also a discipline recommendation. Cases are sent to the chair of the police commission as well as the chief of police. Per the charter, the chief of police has to agree or not with CPRA's findings. If the chief agrees and there are no sustained findings, the case is closed at that point. If the chief of police agrees and there is sustained findings, we must reach an agreement on discipline. If there is disagreement between the chief and CPRA, either in the finding or the discipline, the case is presented to a discipline committee of the police commission for a final determination of the finding and discipline. Officers still retain their rights to Skelly appeals and arbitration. Next slide. That's basically just an overview of what we do at CPRA. You can obviously visit the website to learn more about filing complaints, requesting complaint forms, filing online complaints, and learning more about CPRA.